Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/ProRevenge. In today's episode, neighbor sued me after harassing my dog for months, lost horribly. Company's greed cost them millions and counting. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Neighbor sued me after harassing my dog for months, lost horribly. Several commenters telling me that you guys would enjoy this story. About 6 or 7 months ago, my neighbor got a drone. I don't mind people having hobbies, but for some reason he insisted on flying like the biggest jerk possible. He would hover in front of other houses and windows, try to race cars going down the road, and worst of all, he had a habit of flying his drone in my fenced backyard, buzzing over my dog, diving low just over my dog's head before circling around to do it again. My dog isn't small, he's about 70 pounds and a Malamute, but the drone terrified him, and I was worried what would happen if it hit him. I asked my neighbor several times to please not fly in my yard and explained that it was scaring my dog. He basically told me to get lost and laughed in my face. When it still continued, I called the police. Unfortunately, there wasn't much they could do other than ask him to please not fly over my house/property. Finally, in late December it happened. My dog got tired of his sh*t and managed to catch the drone right as it was diving towards him. He shredded the drone. The thing was just a jumbled mess of wires and plastic. Neighbor was pissed. He stormed over to my house swearing and threatening me, which I ignored. A week later, I got a summons to small claims court. He wanted $900 for the cost of his drone and an additional $300 for supposedly denying him access to his property. The drone sat in my yard for a couple hours before it was retrieved. He could have killed my dog. I don't have kids or a girlfriend, I just have my dog who is my best friend for the past 7 years. That dog has moved with me 3 times, was there when I graduated college, saw me buy my first house and my first new car. I love my dog. Went to legal advice, got some great help from them. Turns out, him suing me was the best thing to ever happen. When we got to small claims court, the judge basically laughed away his claims that I had intentionally trained my dog to attack his drone. But little did he know I was prepared. I had dozens of photos of my yard showing it was impossible for him to accidentally fly that low to my dog, videos of him harassing my dog in the past, and I had saved all my medical bills from taking my dog to the vet. $700 for an X-ray? Check. Another $250 to sedate him during. Why not? Don't want him being uncomfortable. Full dental exam with tooth cleaning/repair. $400. Then there was the cost of anti-anxiety meds and a secondary checkup, wet food for a week in case his teeth were hurt, and extra just for good measure. In the end, the A***hole ended up owing me almost $2,000, and now is being investigated by the FAA for not having a registered drone and violating several FAA regulations concerning drone flight, too near an airport, too close to other people, out of sight of operator and way above the maximum altitude. Enjoy never being allowed to fly drones again. Company's greed cost them millions and counting. Preface. I knew/know my worth and wasn't even remotely worried when I could tell the company didn't. Had no need to explain it to them. I was miserable there towards the end and wanted to leave, but didn't just coast. It wasn't a surprise, I knew they didn't want to pay me and they knew I wasn't happy there. It was a situation both parties wanted to end. Only reason I didn't leave on my own accord was I didn't want to screw over my friends working there, as it was/is a very real possibility the company goes under without me, and it's the only job within 100-mile radius in our field. So I I stuck around and was planning to leave as soon my project was done and they could have a better chance at finding a guy to just maintain it, not engineer it too. It's hard enough to find a decent aircraft electrician, much less one who can engineer, do 2D/3D CAD, coding, and mechanical work. Not exaggerating when I say I can have a very good official job offer within 3 to 4 hours of saying I'm looking for work. Don't want to sound cocky, but I have a unique skill set/experience. Full story. Worked at a place as originally an electrician, got promoted to be the lead electrician as well as electrical engineer for a multi-million-dollar project, $40 million into it when I started, as the real electrical engineer quit before everything was finished and I'd been an engineering technician for a few years before working there. They only had mechanical engineers and pretty much forced me to take the promotion and offered me a whopping 50-cent raise. Told them I'd want at least an extra $6 an hour to take on that role. Never beachhead or moaned, just laughed internally when they were doubting me, and so did everyone outside of management as they understood how valuable I was. Several stories of them telling me to focus on the engineering instead of on aircraft work as they wanted me to get done with the engineering so they could get rid of me as they were paying me $6 to $7 more an hour than the other electricians and they felt like my progress was too slow. I was working on the project by myself, found a workaround to save $80,000 in new equipment per plane. We had 4 of the same aircraft. A competitor with the same plane had a team of 7 to 8 real engineers working on the same project and it took them the same amount of time it took me to do by myself. So, it took a long time, but it's not like I was underperforming. They just didn't understand the complexity. They had a Boeing engineer trying to get a new piece of equipment certified for aviation use for over a year. He couldn't do it and quit before he got it to pass. I go to the test lab, major lab used by Boeing, Ford, etc., to test it again with minor changes recommended by the Boeing engineer. It failed again within the first hour of 12 hours of testing. It failed bad too. The test lab as well as the other engineers from big corporations thought it was time for us to pack up and try it again in a couple of months after some major changes. I said give me 2 hours. They all kind of chuckled and thought I had no chance and was wasting time. Got it to pass the same day and the test lab and the other engineers from outside the company watching were completely in shock. They all told me I should be a consultant in Do 160G testing because what I did was magic. Mind you, this test costs $40,000 and there is no refund if you fail in 5 minutes. You book the lab out for 3 to 4 days. Multiple instances of stuff like this. Another one is they had a plane sit for 3 to 4 days, told me to let the other electricians deal with it, and cost them $20,000 to $30,000 in lost revenue having the other guys try to fix it. I get it fixed in no exaggeration 15 minutes once I said it's been here long enough, let me go take a look. Fast forward. No exaggeration, 1 hour after I turn in my engineering schematics, they lay me off. They didn't account for the fact that every first article design, especially a large one, isn't going to work the first time you turn the plane on and will require revisions. That was a year and a half ago and they still don't have it finished when I gave them 90% of the answer and would have gotten the last 10% done in a month. That $10,000 in salary they didn't want to pay me is costing them millions and counting because they thought they didn't need me anymore. And now, all of the other electricians working under me quit as they saw how I was treated and knew what was coming up for them besides the worst guy we had. Now they have 1 subpar electrician when maintaining the fleet requires 4 at minimum. Aircraft electricians are very hard to find and it's not unusual to spend 5 to 6 months trying to find one guy willing to relocate to your area if you don't live in a big aviation area. And the revenge. They keep calling me for advice to finish at the project. Told them $500 an hour for consulting and a 2-hour minimum charge, and then I ghosted them once they agreed. You already essentially said you no longer need my help. Then they tried to fight me on unemployment, got found guilty of wrongful termination and had to pay me $16,000 cash. They also forgot 2/4 electricians they had were my friends I convinced to work there, and then I actively helped them find better places to work and they quit. Also, aviation is an extremely small field and the mutual guys I know who are qualified to work there ask me about that place and I say absolutely not, so makes the already tough job of filling the spots near impossible. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.